CS50A Class 3 Assignment 3, creating your first web page. You're going to create a single HTML page this week from scratch and embed an image onto the page. You're going to save this page as wiki.html. The way you're going to do this is by doing a lot of copying and pasting. You're going to the Wikipedia website and select an animal and download at least one image with a maximum width of 1,200 pixels and copy 2 paragraphs of text, create one list, use 4 heading tags, and provide a link to the Wikipedia article. Now I'm going to demonstrate the specifics of this assignment. So as is indicated in the homework instructions, step 1 is to create a subfolder and put it inside of the CS50A folder. So I can just create my subfolder and call it Module 03 into the CS50A folder. Once I do that, I can open up my code editor and create a new page and save it as wiki.html. So I'm going to open up Phoenix Code Editor, and we see my old files that I have been working on. I'll close this from the Working Files area and choose File, New File. Now, as soon as I do that, I have to name it. I'm going to call it wiki.html, and I'm going to place that inside of the Module 3 folder, but I also noticed that it's an uppercase W. I really have to be careful about that, so I'm going to make sure that that is a lowercase w, and it's something that probably is happening automatically within the application. I'm going to drag that into Module 3. And we see that when I save it as an HTML file, it already is laid out properly with the doc type, an HTML with a language attribute, the head tag, the meta char set already created. Here, under where it says title, I'm going to change this to whatever animal I'm doing. And mine's going to be the Arctic fox, so I'll call this the Arctic fox page. Okay, and then we see that the body tag opens on line 7, and this is between those 2 body tags is going to be all of the content that we're going to get from the wiki website. So as per step 6 in the submission directions, I've gone to the Wikipedia website and searched for the Arctic fox. I've copied and pasted a bunch of information, simply copying it and pasting it, and I put it into my clipboard or into a text file for right now, and I'm putting that aside for a minute as I go to the next step, which is to download my image. And this is really useful to be able to do on the Wikipedia website. When you find an image of an animal that you want to study, you can click on it, and then when you right click on it, it gives you the option of downloading the file. Now the instructions say it can't be bigger than 1200 pixels wide, so I'm going to click here where it says download this file, and instead of choosing the original size, I'm going to choose large, which is less than 1200 pixels wide, so I'll choose that, and I'll click on download, and I'll click on allow. Now that's going to save this file onto my downloads folder, and I can go later into my directory structure and move the files over into my Module 3 folder on my CS50A root website. So we're going to do that next. So I'm going to go over to my Module 3 folder, and I'm going to create a new subfolder. I'm going to call it Images, and that to me is a much better way to organize my files. So I'll choose New Folder, I'll type in Images, and I'll drag that into my Module 3 folder. Then I'm going to drag my image that I downloaded and put that into the Images folder. Close this downloads window, and I'll rename that as Fox. So it's going to be fox.jpg. It's in my images folder, Now I can go back and start organizing it within Phoenix Code Editor. So as we see here, I've taken the content from the Wikipedia page and simply copied and pasted it in between the body tags. But the homework instructions tell me I have to use some specific tags, so I'll give you an example. With the very first line, Arctic Fox, I want this to be my headline. So I'll type in H1, and of course it closes that tag automatically, and I could put the word Arctic Fox in between, and all of a sudden you see that it's going to give me a headline of that. Now, a cute little Arctic fox, I might make that H3, so I'll use this keyboard shortcut for H3. It's not a keyboard shortcut, just typing in H3, and then it opens and closes it. And this general information here would likely be H2. So once I do that, I can put general information in there, and we see I already have a little bit of a layout going on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to utilize the rest of the tags that are required in the homework assignment and show you what that looks like once it's complete. So I've taken that text that I copied and pasted in between my body tags, and I've added some additional tags. One thing about the heading tags, that's H1 through H6. H1 is the largest heading and can only be used once per page. All of the other H tags can be used multiple times. Once I've created those kind of opening statements to my page, I used the paragraph tag, and I took that first paragraph and I enclosed it in an opening and closing paragraph tag, and I added two additional tags. The strong tag, which takes the words Arctic Fox and bold faces them, and the M tag, also known as the emphasis tag, and it italicizes those words white fox, polar fox, or snow fox. Now there is a B tag for bold facing and an I tag for italicizing, but strong and M are better than bold and I, and the reason is because search engines like those words as a way to prioritize the text that is being placed within those tags. So that's why we're using the strong tag and the M tag. Then the homework requirements say you need either an ordered list or an unordered list. So I took the words Arctic Fox characteristics. Actually, I created an H3 tag and I put the words Arctic Fox characteristics inside of that and created an OL tag, which is for an ordered list. And then for each list item, I use the LI tag to open the list item and the close LI tag to close the list item. And by doing that, I have 3 list items, as we see right here, 1, 2, and 3. If I simply change this from an OL to a UL, then you'll see instead of numbers, I have discs. So I'm going to go back to my ordered list. And then below that, I've created a second paragraph called Arctic Adaptations. I have another paragraph here. And another thing that the homework assignment requires is a hyperlink. So I took the words, for more information, check out the link to the Arctic Fox article, and I opened up an href tag and I used what's called a absolute link to link to the Wikipedia article and close the link, and we see there's the link right over here. I'm going to add 2 more things because the homework assignment requires me to do so. I'm going to add an HR tag. So I'm going to just type in HR. And one of the things about the HR tag is that it's what's called a self-closing tag. You don't have to put a close to the HR. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up near the top where it says a cute little Arctic fox. I'm going to put my cursor after the close of the H3, and I'm going to type in IMG SRC equal and then look inside of my images folder for fox.jpg. I'm going to then say Alt equal and Arctic Fox, and I'm going to then close that IMG tag. And there we see my Arctic Fox, and I'm going to go File, Save, and then I'm going to make sure that I install the Web Developer Toolbar for the browser of my choice, which will allow me to validate the HTML and CSS with that toolbar. I have a link as step 9 in the homework instructions for that. If you are unable to install the Web Developer Toolbar, you'll need to continue to use the validator as we did for the first week. At this point, inside of Phoenix Code Editor, I'm going to click over here where it says click to publish and share this site. When I click on that, it says publish and share, and I say yes, publish, and it's going to launch my web browser, and I see there is my page. Now, I think that image is pretty big, so if I want to adjust this a little bit, I'll go back in here and I'll type in width equal 400 and go back to my browser, and I'm doing that inside of Firefox. I'll click Web Developer, Toolbar, Validate HTML, and it says trailing slash on void elements has no effect and interacts badly with coded attribute values. Well, this is great to see because it's really kind of annoying information. It's not that helpful in terms of what is it trying to say here. Basically, it's saying it doesn't want this slash here. This is not an error, this is info. So I'll go back to my Phoenix Code Editor and I'll remove that slash from the close of the meta char set. And this is something that Phoenix Code Editor is doing automatically on its own. So we're actually fixing something that Phoenix Code Editor is causing. And then I'm going to click Web Developer Toolbar, Validate HTML, and we see document check and complete, no errors or warnings to show. With that being done, I can come back to my assignment and I can make a screenshot of the validated assignment and then follow the remaining steps here. So I'll go back here to make a screenshot, and there I've made my screenshot. And I'm going to copy the link to the wiki page that I've posted on my website, and then I'm going to click Take the Quiz. I'm going to choose my screenshot, and I'm going to take my link and paste it here. And I want to make sure that these links are underlined because that way I can simply click on it, and that's very helpful to me as an instructor. So if your link is not underlined like this, make sure to select the link and make sure to hyperlink it. And then click Submit. And that's all you have to do for Class 3.